And it was just too easy for Arsenal to even build out. Rodrigo, not close enough to Lewis-Skelly, who gets the ball and turns. He gambled, got it wrong, and now Lewis-Skelly gets away and plays it to Rice, who once again is able to just drive forward. So what a night for Declan Rice, scoring 2 banger free kicks in Arsenal's 3-0 victory over Real Madrid. He was man of the match by far, but it was not just because of the goals. His overall performance back to front was sensational, and a lot of it had to do with Arteta's plan to completely boss the midfield, which Arsenal did easily, and they just completely dismantled Ancelotti's plan. And yeah, it's going to be a tough road back for Real Madrid. So let's take a look at what happened. Welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. All right, so take a look at the formational setup for Arsenal here. So you have Timber, Saliba, and Kivior making up the back three. Miles Lewis-Skelly was the left back, but he would invert next to Thomas Partey in the midfield. This allowed Declan Rice to push up a little bit on the left-hand side. Marino, a lot of the time, would drop into the midfield. And then, of course, you had Odegaard as the right-sided 10. Now, if you look at Real Madrid, look at how flat that midfield is. You've got Bellingham on the left, Camavinga and Modric in the middle, and Rodrigo on the right. The problem with this is that Bellingham and Rodrigo, they are not playing their normal positions. And then up front, you've got Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., who press very, very poorly. So it was easy for Arsenal to find their options. And a lot of the time, it was Declan Rice floating off the back of Rodrigo, getting wide open, and the connecting balls into Lewis-Skelly and Thomas Partey, like right here, just happened all day long. And you can see just how flat Real Madrid's midfield was, and Arsenal getting players just in behind them to constantly receive it and go at their back line. This is the thing about Arteta's plan. It's not something we haven't seen before. It worked just so well, in large part because of Real Madrid. And as I said, Rodrigo is not really a good defensive player. Here, he should be a little wider, and the ball goes out to Declan Rice easily, and he would just build up a head of steam throughout the game because he had so much freedom. So here he's just running forward, plays the ball off to Martinelli, keeps his run going, and Rodrigo follows him for a little bit and then just lets him go. And as the game went on, Declan Rice just got more and more confident. He just had so much room. Once again, look at Real Madrid. They're so flat in the midfield. You've got Rodrigo, Camavinga, and Modric just leaving Rice and Marino in those half spaces between the lines. So Lewis-Skelly steps up, he receives the ball, plays it out to Rice, who once again can go ahead and drive. And if Rice didn't have space to dribble, well, then he would just play the ball back and just start moving. And here, as the ball goes to Martinelli, Rice makes a little bit of a late run off the back of Camavinga, who's ball watching. He gets the ball and tries to cross it in. And it was just too easy for Arsenal to even build out. I mean, here the ball goes to Saliba, plays it into Odegaard. Rodrigo, not close enough to Lewis-Skelly, who gets the ball and turns. And Rodrigo, you could see he thought the ball was going to go back to Kivior there. He gambled, got it wrong, and now Lewis-Skelly gets away and plays it to Rice, who once again is able to just drive forward. He plays the ball to Martinelli, keeps his run going again, almost gets on the end of this cross from Martinelli. And Real Madrid really had no answer. Yes, Mbappe had a pretty good chance in the first half, a decent one in the second, but that was really it. And a large reason for that was the way Arsenal were set up defensively. You can see their little cube here in the middle. Basically, Odegaard and Marino would sort of drop in as the two 10s. Then you had Rice and Partey as the two holders, and Martinelli and Saka would just sort of drop in to make sure nothing really went out wide. And if it does, they just drop in, get behind the ball, and Real Madrid have just no options. So Miles Lewis-Skelly's been doing this role all season. He is a midfielder by trade, but he's been playing left back and just inverting, and it kind of works out for him. Now, the other thing about Real Madrid is they don't press well, so it's so easy to find Partey and Lewis-Skelly, and as Lewis-Skelly just sort of comes inside, no one follows him, he can just get the ball easily, turn, and look forward, and already you've got Rice making the run. Ball gets played into Rice. Marino, who had checked back, can now turn and run forward and receive the ball there. And at this point, Rice was just sort of bombing around all over the field, getting involved in every single area. He was going off the back of Rodrigo. There he is just running past him. Rodrigo doesn't really pay attention. Okay, the ball's way out on this side, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But Saka gets the ball inside to Partey. He looks up, plays it to Lewis-Skelly. Yes, there's a ton of traffic here. Arsenal were never going to score by doing this, but they do a good job of winning the ball back, getting the ball out to Timber here, and he crosses. And look who he's got as options. First, he could go all the way back close to Martinelli, but you got Declan Rice completely free, making a run and able to get a header right on top of the penalty spot. This one is saved by Courtois. The follow-up by Martinelli gets saved as well. I mean, Courtois was having a terrific performance, especially in the first half. But Rice was just like, guys, get out of my way. I'm going to be the difference maker tonight, whether you like it or not. And as I said, the second half, it just continued. Here, the ball goes to Kivior. He plays it to Rice. And once again, it's you versus Rodrigo. Just play the ball off and keep running. The guy's not going to follow you. So Martinelli plays the ball inside, and look at Rice having continued his run. Completely open again. Ball comes to Lewis-Skelly, who one-touches it into Rice here, and yeah, shot blocked, but the warning signs were there for Real Madrid, and eventually Rice was going to eat. And he got this free kick, and actually the source of both free kicks was the same thing. It was Bukayo Saka taking players on and drawing a foul, just sort of dribbling in the dangerous area of the pitch. There it's Alaba who goes ahead and bites, and Rice has the free kick. So the set piece coach for Arsenal was saying, whip this one into the back post. I mean, you do see Thomas Partey wide open, and that was the logical thing at first. But when Rice took that step there, where he just starts to re-angle himself, that's where I knew he was shooting this. And I remember thinking to myself, the wall for Real Madrid is not big, so he's able to find that far corner terrifically well. But take a look from this angle. You can really see a fifth player in the wall there, or the wall just a little further over, would really have made a difference. Thibaut Courtois actually did say at the end of the game, like, I take responsibility for this first goal, because it's actually too easy for Rice to whip this around the wall and still into the net. But you still gotta do it, and it's an insane free kick. And yeah, you can see there Lewis-Skelly pointing at his boy like, how about this? And Rice was just having one of those nights to remember. And this is just classic stuff from the game from Declan Rice. I mean, picking the ball up in his own end here, and what you're gonna see here, he's waving at people to get forward. He's like, I wanna go, guys, let's go. So there's nothing available for him, so he just drops it off and decides to motor up himself. No one was following him, so every time he ran forward, he knew he was just gonna get free, like this right here. So even though he doesn't get that ball, he just turns around and finds that little pocket again, right between the center backs, behind the midfield, and as Arsenal sort of recycle around, he just stays open. Merino doing a great job of moving inside, constantly making himself available as a 10. Now the ball goes out to Martinelli. He doesn't quite have the pass into Rice, and Rice sees that, so he says, play it back. The ball goes back to Skelly. He plays it into Partey, and now look at Rice. He's off the back of Camavinga, who's just ball watching. The split comes into him. He cuts across. It barely gets blocked off. But again, this is just the freedom Declan Rice was having in this game, and his confidence grew, and you would see it in every aspect. Here, look, this is a corner kick for Arsenal, and look at Rice here. Top of the box. Look at the way he's leaning, and he's like, I'm ready, I'm ready. And there's Vinicius next to him, completely sleeping. So when Thibaut Courtois actually punches this ball away, it is no surprise that it's Rice who gets to it first. Chests it down, gets the shot off, and it's Bellingham clearing it off the line. And then the second free kick, and once again, as I said, it's Saka wriggling away from people in the middle of the pitch, making it very difficult to defend him. They eventually put in a couple bad tackles, bring him down, and there we go. We got a free kick from a more central area. And right when this started, I was like, I mean, this is a better angle actually for a right footer. He could go either side here, and Arsenal have a little wall built right in front, so he can use that as a decoy. Yeah, it's still a long way out against one of the best goalkeepers in the world, so you would not think that this would be possible, but man, I mean, he hits it so high up into the roof of the net that there is no chance. I mean, look at this. This is one of the best free kicks I've seen in a while, and Thibaut Courtois, I mean, look how far away he is from it. But then they would go and take a 3-0 lead, and this goal, what I love about it is it involves all the tactical pieces for Arsenal in one move to go and seal the deal. So Raya has the ball, looks up, and his double pivots were open all day long. It was either one or the other or both. So here he goes into Partey, and you can actually see Jude Bellingham just like, seriously, you're going to just let him get the ball and turn? And yeah, that was a major problem. And then you've got Merino checking back into the center circle here, adding himself as an extra midfielder, receives the ball, links it up, goes to Declan Rice. And now Declan Rice drives forward, gets all the way up into the penalty area. So he lays it off to Trossard, who takes a look up and plays it to who? The advancing Miles Lewis-Skelly, who had started to attack a lot more in the second half. And the last piece of this, take a look at Merino. Once again, the movement off the ball. He gets himself a little tighter to the Real Madrid players, and then he just backs off. Lewis-Skelly has a simple ball to play, but this finish is just exceptional. I mean, he's got to reach back and hit it from behind him and also generate the curl and the power to beat Courtois. Arsenal win 3-0. Declan Rice, deserved man of the match. But honestly, Arsenal found it way too easy, and I don't see how Real Madrid really contained them in the second leg. Could Real Madrid go and score a couple goals and make a fight out of it? Yes, but I do not see them keeping a clean sheet because Arsenal are just going to find too many open spaces in the midfield, behind the midfield, in between the defenders, and that's what killed Real Madrid in this game. So look, big props to Declan Rice for his 2 free kicks, but also the overall performance from him, from Arteta, from the team. Arsenal are going to the semifinals. So, hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.